Of course you did.
It's time to breathe again.
That took longer than it normally did.
It's okay, Patrick.
5 seconds on that one.
It's par for the course, Patrick. And I know if you do stay quiet during the beginning of the show, then something's wrong.
Well, I mean, dude, I waited a whole 5 seconds. I was actually quiet for this one, and then nothing.
It loaded up a little bit slow, so my bad. But it's time to breathe again on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast here on YouTube. As you can see, I have Patrick with me for this show. And Patrick, we're just going to jump right into this because I remember a few weeks ago when we did this show, you said, man, we always start with the NFL. Well, all right, since we're not going to start with the NFL this week. Instead, we're going to talk about Georgia sports teams in general.
Oh, my God. Here we go. Great.
Hey, man, you weren't here last week, so we kind of give you the chance to rebut. So, look, Patrick, you have 3 teams you can hit on. You have the Braves. You have Georgia, the Bulldogs. And you have the Falcons. And we're not going to count the Hawks yet because the Hawks aren't playing. But it's okay. If you want to throw a blast on the Hawks, then go right ahead. But, Patrick, floor is yours.
Okay, so give me a little bit of something to go on.
All right.
You know what? I don't need it. Here we go.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Braves. How in the hell do you drop a 3-1 series lead and your pitching staff was the best in the whole 4 games or the 4 teams left? I mean, let's break it down statistically because, bro, I have, like I told you, before this show even started, I got plenty to say.
Yes.
Game 6. Game 6. No, I'm sorry. Game 5. Game 5. Game 6 of the AL was happening. Was watching both games, and this is the statistic that happened to come across the screen or happened to be said at the time of which I think I texted you and said, bro, the Braves have the best pitching staff right now. Not the best pitching staff per the team, but they had the best ERA because they were not being used as much. They swept 2 series. 2! What? Okay, so here's the stats. We looked at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's bench, their roster or their bullpen was pitching a 12.04 for the bullpen. Okay, that's stat number 1. Stat number 2, the Houston was pitching 11.98. Okay, the Dodgers were at 10.20. Now, you ready for this? The Braves at the time I text you was at 6.01. How about that for a stat? So I text you and saying, bro, our bullpen is going to be okay. What's his name? Hit a home run right on our bullpen. And I was like, seriously, man. We lost game 5. I was like, you know what? It's okay. 3-2. It's okay. 3-2. Turned it on because I missed the first 4 innings. Turned it on. The Dodgers were already up 3-0. I went power. I was like, this sucks. Because now, at this point, I already know all hell, the Georgia normal crap. Nothing changes. Everything changes in a COVID year except for Georgia sports.
Sorry.
So we blow a 3-1 lead. We end up losing in the NLCS in Game 7 pretty handily. Normally, when it gets to a Game 7 for the Braves, that's pretty much a wrap unless you have Sid Bream on your team, and then that's the only time we win.
Patrick, that score was 4-3, though. That was a close game, and y'all had a bad base running blunder in that game, too. Bad.
Yeah. But it goes. But what I'm saying is, it goes for par. Georgia or Atlanta Braves put together this phenomenal team. They put together 40 wins in a 60 game series or a 60 game season. 40 freaking wins. and we can't close out a series against the Dodgers that we're up 3-1. This is ridiculous. All right. So there's my spiel on the Braves. Don't blow it up yet. Don't blow it up yet. They still have a good team, but
man, young.
They're young, man. They're really super young. But first and foremost, address the problem. And the problem is our bullpen. Address that crap, because you do not blow a series like that and then end up having at the 6:01 at the beginning of Game 5. By the end of Game 7, you know what that bullpen's was ERA was at? Over 11.
I was gonna say 10.
It was over 11, dude. 6:01 at the beginning of Game 5. It was over 11 by the end of Game 7. What happened? Bullpen was spent. I don't know how, but the bullpen was spent. Anyway, now let's talk about Georgia football. All right, this is the one thing that gets this. This is the one thing. Georgia football is not really blowing leads as much as they're just not winning the big game. I don't know what it is, man. I don't think anybody's going to beat Nick Saban. He's 22-0 against his ladies. We'll call them that.
Ladies.
His ladies underneath him. He's 22-0, man. And I told you how many times, Charles, the only person that's going to be able to beat him would be Kirby Smart. I don't even think that can happen.
Well, I think so watching that game, what I didn't like in the aftermath of the game, and granted, look, Alabama, they made adjustments at halftime. They held Georgia scoreless in the second half, and the Alabama offense is explosive. They have weapons galore, like track stars all over the place, it seems like. But what I didn't like in the aftermath is how everybody wanted to basically bench your quarterback, Stetson Bennett. And that game wasn't his fault. Now, I get it. He probably started pressing.
3 interceptions, bro. It does get pinned on him a little bit.
Here's the thing, though, Patrick. Here's where I'm going with it. The first interception he threw, okay, yeah, that probably wasn't the best throw. Even still, Georgia was in that game. They were down 27-24. He threw a pass. It was a little hot, but the receiver got his hands on it. It was one of those throws he probably should have caught. And it got tipped, and it was an Alabama interception. Third interception, this was a forced throw. He started to panic because Alabama was up by 10 at that point, and he started to force things. And then he tried to make hero plays. So I think it's a mixed bag. Georgia's defense, I won't say it didn't show, but man, they gave up some big plays there.
No,
and they weren't
there.
Well, they're not really a defense that gives up big plays like that. And
but you have to look, if we look at this at a basketball standpoint, Charles, you have to understand, we will say that was great defense, just better offense.
Right. So are you bitching Bennett?
This was a better offensive Alabama team than the Georgia defense.
Are you bitching Bennett though after
Absolutely
the game?
Not. No.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's it.
No,
because a lot of people were saying he should get benched, and I was like, nah, man, I don't. No,
Fromm threw 3 interceptions in a game before. We didn't even think about benching him. No, Bennett did his job. He came in and he took care of Arkansas, he took care of Auburn, and he took care of Tennessee. He shouldn't be benched. But you have to. This is more of a character. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say that is not happening again. And the defense has to look at themselves and say that. Bennett, on the other hand, he should have learned a ton from this game. So if we see Alabama again, I fully suspect this is going to be a better offensive showing from him. Absolutely. You can't bench somebody just because he makes a mistake. You have to give him the opportunity to learn from his mistakes. So no, I don't bench him. But no, I don't think that this is more of a of a Georgia Bulldog blowing leads as much as I feel that this is a Georgia Bulldog team that needs to win the big game. And the big game is, unfortunately, Alabama, regardless if it's during the season or if it's during the playoffs, because we're always losing to them in the playoffs. We lose to them in the championship. Alabama is the team to beat. And that's the big game for Georgia. So stop trying to say, and this is people out there, stop trying to sit Bennett. Who else are we going to put out there? JT Daniels?
And see, and that's the main thing I was saying with that, and that's why I said, look, man, I don't like that type of criticism. If you want to criticize him for that interception, the last interception he threw, sure, that was an ill-advised throw. He was trying to play hero ball and
trying to make the game. He was trying to make it a game, and you know what? Yeah. I can't fault him for that. I will fault him for you get in that situation. You throw that ball away. You were already outside the pocket. Just toss that ball. You get it over the line of scrimmage, but toss that ball out. Live to fight another day. It was only third down when he threw it.
Yeah, and so then that's
and it was 3rd and 2. That was the big thing. It was like a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. It was 3rd and short. Don't try to play hero. Let's live to fight another down. Let's make it up on the next play. You got a fantastic running back.
Yeah, and then that's another thing. They got away from the identity. Once they were down 10, then it was we just have to throw the ball, and said no. You still have a quarter to go. You can run the ball, continue to be balanced on offense because that's Georgia's strength, balanced offense. If they're able to be balanced, then that's when they're most effective and most efficient. If you're going to put the game in Bennett's hands, like what ended up happening, then that's where you can get in trouble, especially against a team like Alabama, who is going to make you pay for every mistake.
I mean, he's just not. He's a great quarterback. Or let me tell you that. He's a good quarterback that has the potential to be great. But the fact of the matter is he has waited way too long for his time. He's got his time. Let him play. He's earned it. Give him his shot. But do understand, and this is everybody out there, do understand that he has got to learn. And he may know what he's doing through film. He may know what he's doing on paper. He may know what he's doing in practices. But we all know game time situations is a ton different than anything else that you're going to play. And then if you're going to put the ball in Stetson's hands, be okay with the mistakes that's going to come. But be okay that he is going to be the one that comes back out and starts the next game, because chances are he's going to be tons better. He's not going to come out there and throw 3 interceptions 2 games in a row. It's just he's going to fix his errors. So, yep. With that being said, I don't think it's Georgia as much as losing leads, as much as it's just calm down, check your identity, win the big game. Now, Falcons, you lead the whole entire game against the Lions. You know what? This is what I'll say about the Falcons, and then I'll be done, because I have vented on them for the past 2 weeks. Sorry, there's something in my foot. I have vented on them for the past 2 weeks. I'll say this right here. Falcons, if anybody's watching, one day you will. I'm going to say this. Hey, boys, way to make it look like you weren't throwing the game, you pieces of crap.
Hey, man. It's
they throw games all the time. But at least this past game against the Lions, it didn't look like they threw the game. But we all know if you're Georgia, they're waiting for that Trevor Lawrence pick.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Oh, okay, so what are they?
Everybody's like, oh, okay, Atlanta, okay, you only lost by 1. I'm over here going like this. Way to not get caught.
Okay, so you think they're trying to throw the season, Patrick? Is that where you're going with this? The Falcons are throwing the season to try to get a number 1 draft choice. Is that where you're going?
Doing, and I don't like it. Way to not get caught, boys. Good job. At least y'all succeeded at something.
Oh, man, you look So salty right now.
I am a little salty.
What is on your foot?
Huh?
What is on your foot?
I don't know, but it's off now. It was in the carpet, and I keep putting my toe on it, and I'm like, what is that? But anyway, hey, that's where I'm going with it. Good job, boys. You didn't get caught this week. Maybe next week. Trash. I mean, might as well be the Philadelphia Falcons.
The Eagles right now is slightly above.
This much, because well, in Philadelphia they do the same thing. It's we win or throw the game.
Patrick, they have not been throwing games since the Sixers. Stop. They haven't been that bad, dude. Come on.
Well, yeah. Well,
okay.
It don't matter. We all know what Philadelphia is known for, and now we're the Philadelphia Falcons. We're gonna give the team away. We're not even gonna sell it to Philadelphia. We're just gonna be like, look, y'all just be the Eagles and the Falcons.
You said, well. We're
just gonna give the Falcons to them because I'm tired. I'm tired of even watching them. Then joke. It's a joke of a team. How do you have that many weapons and still lose?
Oh my gosh, Patrick, let's move on.
I was able to spend 16 minutes on them.
On your Georgia sports teams is all right, man.
I got plenty more to come. Ugh.
I pretty much allotted 20 minutes for it, so we're actually ahead of schedule. So that's good.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
No,
I ain't called shit.
No, it's okay. You gotta do the rest of the show, Patrick.
And look, I'm not even a fan of them, but I still got Georgia Tech. You want me to talk about more? I got more.
Oh, they getting blown out 73-7. So,
welcome to the Ludicrous.
Let's talk about.
Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play.
Let's talk about some more college football.
He ain't even rapping anymore.
Patrick, let's talk about some more college football. So let's get on another subject that you can't stand, since we're just all about the subjects that you're not standing. Let's talk about the Big Ten, that garbage. So
on the show,
Patrick, look,
because you just keep hey, I know what we can do. We're gonna get Patrick all mad about Atlanta sports, and then we're going to sprinkle some Big Ten all on that salty womb of his.
Yes, Patrick.
You know what? Bring it. I'm ready.
I know you are. You always are. So it's okay. You know what? Look, hey, but here, the Big Ten, I'm with you on this one because, first of all, they come back. There's all this hype. Oh, the Big Ten's back. You know, I don't know about you, but I was just fine without the Big Ten playing football. I
didn't.
I am.
I carried smiles on my face when I talked to all these Big Ten people who were like, "Man, I can't wait for Big Ten." I was like, "I think college football is better without them."
I mean, I did not miss them, and now they come back, and then here's all the hype. Ohio State beats Nebraska, who is terribly overrated every single year, especially since Scott Frost became the coach. How's that working out for him? Probably should have stayed in Central Florida, but whatever. Another subject for another day.
He should have been fired in Central Florida.
So, another subject for another day.
Be on an island together.
Another subject for another day, Patrick. But
well, okay, but come up soon.
It's not about Nebraska necessarily. Man. So look, here's the thing.
Well, they're in the Big Ten.
They are in the Big Ten, but it's not necessarily about them. But here's the thing though, with the Big Ten altogether. This is a conference said they're not going to play football. Done. We're going to do it. Now all of a sudden they come back, have a season. These networks are sprinkling in. You talking about sprinkling in all this hype? Oh my gosh, it's so good to have the Big Ten back. Now get this. So I'm going to talk about Wisconsin here because this has something to do with their Big Ten practice. Yes.
I got to say one thing before we get started. I do want to give a shout out to Donald Trump. Thank you for screwing up NCAA football. Thank you for bringing the Big Ten back and screwing it all up for us.
I honestly don't think they needed Trump to screw it up. But anyway,
he's claiming in the first debate that I'll bring back the Big Ten. Thanks for screwing it up.
They honestly
I'll still vote for you, but thanks for screwing it up.
That's an enhancement. But anyway, but check this out. Yep, the leader over there. Yeah, so check this out. So Wisconsin, they have pretty much their whole quarterback backfield testing positive for COVID. Now, if you test positive for COVID, now this is a Big Ten rule. If you test positive for COVID, you are out for 21 days. 21 days. That is potentially 3 games for Wisconsin, which the 3 games are they play Nebraska. sorry, I had to sprinkle Nebraska in there again. But they're playing Nebraska. They're playing Purdue, and then I think they're at Michigan. They play Michigan. I'm not sure where that game is. But I say that because the Big Ten came back late. They have an 8-game season. So your COVID protocol says if you test positive, you're missing almost half of the season because you test positive. That is insane. That is atrocious to me. And this goes on top of everything the Big Ten has done. And it just compiles why I feel like they are hot trash served on the hot plate.
I don't really think they're hot trash. You had to warm them up at some point. I don't even think we should be touching them. That should be like moldy cold trash that nobody's even taken out yet. But this is the thing about this whole thing. Because the NCAA had put in a rule that states that you have to play a minimum of 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
So if Wisconsin is missing 3 games and that is at Nebraska,
those players.
Oh, okay. Well, either way the case may be, those are three of the major big players because it's in their entire.
It's their quarterbacks.
It's their quarterbacks. Every one of them. What are they going to do? Throw a wide receiver out there?
Well,
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It depends on who the emergency quarterback is. And it could be a receiver.
Probably. To me, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, so you're missing 3 games, and that's at Nebraska, Purdue, and at Michigan. Let's be point blank. You're probably going to lose 2 of those. And you ain't losing to Nebraska. I'll just put that one.
Well, it just compiles the garbageness with how they handled this. And the Pac-12, they're even worse. They're playing 6 games. And to me, they were talking about, when we were talking about this before we came on live, we were talking about the Justin Fields. And of course, that's the Ohio State quarterback, and how all of a sudden he's being injected into the Heisman race. Nobody from the Big Ten or the Pac-12 should not get any type of consideration for any individual awards. There's no way. You can't tell me you're going to put these dudes, whoever it may be, in a race for playing half of the season.
After 1 game.
After a game, too. Yeah. That's
against Nebraska.
That's a terrible precedent. And again, Patrick, it's not, the NCAA did not come down and tell them they had to put fall sports down. This was a conference decision. This was these dudes getting together, basically saying, oh, we don't want to play fall sports because of COVID concerns. Again, yes, I understand what this virus has done, but don't come to me and use COVID as an excuse for why you're putting up sports when you just came back and said, oh, yeah, we can definitely play season. You're about the money. Come out and say you're about the money. If you come out and say that, yeah, you might get some flack. You might get some some grief for it, but nobody's gonna mess with you after a while because you were
With the
straight up
respect.
with us.
But I'll respect it.
Yes,
I
you
would.
respect it.
I will go from calling them a garbage conference to a garbage conference.
Oh, they stepped up in class.
Yeah, that's classy garbage. Garbage is garbage. Garbage is classy garbage. It's the same.
That sounds like the Target.
Take it for what it's worth.
You say, oh, okay. You know what? Do we have to say your other? It is what it is. We're gonna say that too.
What it is.
Trash,
there you go.
dude.
It's going to be what it's going to be. Everything is everything. I'll keep going. You want me to?
No. That's okay. But no, look, college football, it's going to be a jumbled mess, man, because, normally we talk about the rankings and how the rankings are kind of messed up. And we say normally things will work itself out. In this year, I don't know. Everything is just so up in the air, and with how things have gotten thrown off kilter, how you're not even having non-conference games. And that, look, some teams have actually played a few non-conference games. And you have independents who are over here, they're trying to play. Like Notre Dame's one of those, well, Notre Dame's quote unquote an independent, but they're playing most of their games with the ACC. So I don't know. It's going to be a mess. I still tend to think things will work itself out because, look, it's probably going to be Clemson. It's probably going to be Alabama. I do think somehow Georgia or maybe another team from the SEC might work their way in there. I'm not for sure. Just depends on how Georgia plays the rest of the way. And then they'll probably throw some Big Ten garbage in there, probably Ohio State. And so that will
no freaking reason. And now I gotta say it. Now I'm gonna say it. Why does Alabama play a number 3 ranked Georgia and handle them, not jump Clemson, who plays Georgia Tech and crushes them 73-7? But enter the Big Ten and Justin Fields, and here we go, and let's just cater to the Big Ten and how crappy they are. And Ohio State beats Nebraska, and who did they jump? Georgia. Okay, I get this one. All right. What I don't get is how they jump Notre Dame, and I'm not a huge fan of Notre Dame.
You're not a fan of theirs at all.
At all. There's 3 teams I can't stand. I can't stand them for anything in the world, and if they were on fire, I still wouldn't piss and put them out. Notre Dame is one of them. Ohio State is the other. And the University of Spoiled Children, South California. Can't stand them. Can't stand them. But I got to call it the way I got to call it. I see the jump over Georgia. They have one loss. Yes, granted, it was to the number 2 Alabama, but I understand that jump. I don't like it, but I understand it. But to jump Notre Dame, who is 5-0, that I just don't get behind. I don't understand how they keep catering to this team. There's nothing proven by beating Nebraska. Nothing. They shouldn't even be in the top 10 right now. But here we are, ranked 3rd. And this is the one season that I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work itself out. I hope it does. I hope it does next week when they play Penn State, and Penn State whips that tail for them. I hope they do. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, Penn State is a travesty too. But yeah.
Well, name one team that's not a travesty.
Well,
in Big Ten.
Oh, in the Big Ten, no, there isn't one.
They're all travesties. Yes, I even said it. Ohio State is an absolute travesty because it is just catered to this team for no reason. Food. Like it.
I will be rooting for Penn State too, actually. So hopefully they can pull that out. Because
you haven't been a fan of Ohio State either.
No, not at all. No, but you know me, man. Who's going to step up and beat them?
Nobody.
Not in that conference. And so
nobody in that conference, and everybody would be like, "Well, there's Michigan," and I'm like, "Well, no, there's not."
Michigan.
Name one time Michigan's even beat them under the supervision of Jim Harbaugh.
Well, they haven't. So, so
what, 7 years or
0-5.
0-5.
0-5 against Ohio State. Okay, he got there in 2015.
He ain't beating them.
So yeah, they'll probably go to the NFL next year anyway. There'll probably be some NFL jobs opening up.
Well, there's gonna be quite a few. There's already 2 of them opened up in Atlanta. Three after they get rid of the intern that's head coaching right now that still can't win.
So before we hop off, Patrick, let's talk about some of the NFL. And I know you did your shorty. For those of y'all who didn't catch it, you did the shorty on Tampa Bay signing Antonio Brown. Look, I saw what you were saying. I still think New Orleans is going to be the big factor in there. Now, New Orleans, they have to get some people back themselves, but they're sitting at 4-2. Tampa Bay sitting at 5-2. New Orleans, to me, you still got to beat them. And I know what Tampa Bay is doing. It does look like they are getting. They're going to get Brown joining, Mike Evans, Chris Goodwin. Rob Gronkowski is starting to look a little bit more like the Gronk that we've known, and their defense is playing.
Yeah,
not that Rob Gronkowski.
Well, in Tampa Bay, he doesn't have to use his own ship.
Not that Gronkowski. I'm talking about the Gronkowski on the field. And so,
hey, what's on the field is the same that's off the field. Just saying. He got 2 ships now. He got that Buccaneer ship, and he got his own.
He's not doing those activities.
I love cocaine.
He's not doing those activities on the field, Patrick. They're only on those ships. And so
he got a ship, and he got a ship at home now. I'm just saying. Where's Gronk? I need him to go in. Oh, he's on the Buccaneer ship. I love cocaine. Yeah.
So now you have Antonio Brown on the team, and look, it'd be one thing if we knew we were getting the Antonio Brown that we saw those years with the Steelers, who you could put up there with the best receivers in football. I just don't know with this, man. Like, I feel like it remains to be seen for me. Now, on paper, yes, this looks like a ridiculous move, and this makes their offense really, really tough to guard. On pretty much on par with, well, I won't say on par with Kansas City yet, because Kansas City is
no,
but
they're not on par with Kansas City
for sure.
They're not going to be on par with Green Bay, and they're not going to be on par with Seattle.
Dude, they just mocked Green Bay though. They destroyed Green Bay.
They did, but you know what? That game. Well, let's put it this way: if that game is played 10 times, I feel it's 50-50.
Okay,
I really do.
Fair enough.
But now, do I think that Tampa Bay's offense is truly on par with that offense in Green Bay? I don't think so. I think Brown does bring a serious role. And even if he doesn't live up to the Brown that we saw in Pittsburgh, he does take off a defender off of Evans. And that's what you're looking for. Now, Evans, because Brown being out there, regardless of what you say or anybody says, well, he's not the wide receiver that we saw in Pittsburgh. Maybe not, but you still have to respect it.
No, he's a threat. He's a threat. I'm just saying, we don't know. Is he even going to stay on the field? Like, well, do we know? Do we know if Antonio Brown is going to be in there for the long haul? Like,
we'll find out on his Instagram feed.
He plays 3 games, and then something else pops up. He gets in trouble again.
We'll find out on his Instagram feed.
So we just have to see. But no, you're right, Patrick. He is a threat. I'm not saying he's not a threat at all. You do have to respect the man because you know what he has done and what he has been able to do on the field. You know he is capable of those things. Can he stay on the field? That remains to be seen. And you're absolutely right on that part.
The only thing that I'm saying, like when I was talking about my shorty, is when you look at what Tampa Bay is doing, all they're looking for, and this is the way I saw it, the only thing they're looking for is to get that other defender off of Evans. Because you have to respect Brown. Regardless if he's, if he's catching the ball or if he's on, he has to be on the field for the plan to work. I agree there. But when all's said and done, I don't think they're really looking at throwing to this man that much. He might now if he becomes the wide receiver that was out in Pittsburgh, probably. But I don't think they're looking at throwing as much as throwing to him as much as I think they're just looking to get people off of Evans because he's being double and triple teamed, and you're not really able to throw an offense out there that is capable of what Tom Brady can do without doing that. And one of the other things I said is like, I don't think Antonio Brown moves the needle on many teams at all. I just don't think he does. I don't think he moves the needle in Atlanta. I don't think he moves the needle in Kansas City. I don't think he moves the needle in Chicago. I don't think he moves the needle in Cleveland. I don't think he doesn't move the needle at all on many teams. But the reason why he does move the needle in Tampa is to get that defender off of Evans so that Evans can catch the ball.
When you say move the needle, how much? Are you saying they're going to win the division now?
I would say this.
Because I still got the Saints.
Well, I picked Atlanta, so he moved the needle substantially for me. No, the way I saw it, and let's look at it from my point of view, because I had Atlanta winning the conference, but I didn't have Tampa coming in, but they were coming in fourth in my eyes. Now they're a legit two, and that's taking in consideration of what's happened with Atlanta so far and what New Orleans is doing and all that stuff. Looking at it from your point of view, I still think they're a legit two now. And if they had Brown at the beginning of the season, I would have probably placed them at 3. But now, after all said and done with what's going on up to this point, going into this next coming week, I think he moves the needle from them being last to a legit 2, solid 2.
See, I had him in second in the division because I didn't know what we were getting from Atlanta. You never know. We know Atlanta has the talent.
At this point, they need to sell the team.
We know they have the talent, but you just don't know. They could definitely fall short of that talent, just depending. You don't know what team you're going to get there. Carolina, I felt like they were kind of on a rebuild and they're trying to do it on the fly, but they were still going to compete. Compete as in they would be in games, but I think overall their record would be something like a 6-10, 7-9. New Orleans, I still felt like they were kind of the class of that division, and with Antonio Brown coming in there, I think it closes it. I think there is a little bit of a gap close, but I'll still pick New Orleans, especially if they're going to get Michael Thomas back and they get Emmanuel Sanders back in that receiving core, and with the defense solid enough. So I think Tampa Bay, because they're 5-2 right now. Yeah, they're 5-2. New Orleans is 4-2 because they had their bye week. They played one more time, which I think is in Tampa. New Orleans beat them earlier in the year, first game of the season. So definitely there'll be a little bit of a changeover. Tom Brady is playing a lot better than he was. And then you're getting all these people to join. So that would be a very, very good team or game to see. And that could be the first
game. Huh? And sorry to interrupt you, but let's be honest about that first game between New Orleans and Tampa. No, there is 31 other teams that was going to beat Buccaneers game 1. And that's just because there's no mesh and you don't know what you're going to get out of that Buccaneers first game.
You think so? The Jets were going to beat them? Think so?
Atlanta? Do you think they would have beat?
I don't know. I give Atlanta I give Atlanta a better shot than the Jets.
True, but if the Jets were going to win a game, that would be the one. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Jets are going to win crap, honestly. But if they were going to win a game, that would have been the one, just because there's no chemistry there. There's no chemistry between Tom Brady and Evans, and nobody.
Cincinnati, they beat them. The Giants. Or how about any of those teams in the NFC East? How about that?
Well, Dallas probably would have beat them. But, hell, well, I say that, but Dallas only won 1 game, 2 games. Who was their second win?
The Giants.
Oh.
The NFC East.
And Washington still can't decide it. I think Washington. I think I read something that Washington said that from now on we're just going to be called the Washington football team.
No, man. No. They better not. Look.
No, I think they are.
No,
I don't want to change their logo to the bold W.
So I had heard I had heard they may have a name next year, maybe in the middle of next year.
I've heard and this was coming from the owner saying, I think we are going to stay as the Washington football team.
That is so trash.
So if they do, as far as I'm concerned, everybody in the NFC East can blow up.
So what? We're just gonna have letters as their emblems?
Yeah, it'd be Dallas football team and the New York football team, and then move them to like.
What do you call the Eagles? Oh, the Philly football team.
Oh well, the Phillies will be the only team. The Phillies will be the only team that keeps the name. They will be the Philadelphia Falcon Eagles.
Patrick, what else catches your eye on the NFL before we get out of here? the Eagle Falcons. What else catches your eye about the NFL before we get out of here? Wow.
I mean, well, I mean, you just top to bottom, man. You look at what surprises me the most, and I gotta pull this up real quick. AFC North. That is surprising me, man. I like the fact that Cleveland is contending. Bringing Odell, and I think Odell got injured, and I think he's out for the season, right?
Yeah, torn ACL.
Okay, so I didn't hear that they got that confirmed. But I mean, even then, you have. Well, I think Nick Chubb's out for the season too, isn't he?
He's out for I think 6 weeks. So I think he was put on IR, but he's eligible to come back
in 4 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. Well, even at that point, I mean, they're still 5-2, and they're still doing their thing. So because Cincinnati really screws that whole division up.
Man, Cincinnati.
It's Joe the Man Burrow.
But Cincinnati is competing now. Patrick, you did have Cincinnati winning that division, by the way.
Bro, I shouldn't have picked anything in the NFL. I shouldn't have picked nothing. Because let's go. I had the Patriots winning the AFC East.
Yeah, that's looking bad for me too.
I had Cincinnati winning the North. Flop. I picked the Titans for the South.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing okay there. And then the City for the West, so I'm doing pretty good there. Who did I pick for? I picked the Eagles for the NFC East.
That was by default, yep.
Yeah, that's my default.
Because I did the same thing for that.
I picked Green Bay for the North. I picked Atlanta for the South. Flop. And did I pick Seattle or did I pick Arizona?
I thought you picked us.
Oh, I did. I picked San Francisco. You're right. At least they got a winning record.
Yeah, but look, I think
they're competing. They're competing, and they had a lot of injuries.
Yes, and we're starting to get those people back. I say that, but we lost Deebo Samuel for a few weeks again. But
dude, he just should be on permanent IR, and if you get him back for a game, yay.
Right. I'm like, oh my God.
That dude is injured, what, 15 games out of the season every year?
Jeez. You can't stay healthy, man. But yeah, I mean,
Well, there was that one time he was sick at his stomach. Wasn't it something like he was sick at his stomach and he had to miss a game?
so I don't know if it was him, but yeah, somebody did have like
Somebody did it. They
yeah,
were like, yeah, he's sick at his stomach. I was like,
he has an illness.
he has an illness. That's what they said. He has an illness, and I was going, yeah, he's got diarrhea.
No, yeah, I mean, New England is looking pretty bad there. Somehow they got to get a few weapons to kind of open some things up, or they're just going to have to go to the running attack with Cam. Now, I think they kind of got thrown off with their COVID issues, and some teams are just handling them better than others. Tennessee had a COVID issue, but Tennessee looks like they came out pretty good from it. New England had theirs, and they're looking bad. It just depends on how the teams are handling it, and I think to a degree, most of the teams are going through it. So when you just look at how everything is going on, you have fans in some stadiums, fans and not in some stadiums. You have players who are missing time, going out for the year. The lack of a training camp. Really, I mean, because the injuries, I know there are injuries, but it seems really spiked this year. There seems to be a lot of injuries just happening. And I think part of it is because of the training. They weren't, or lack of training.
Lack of training.
So it's going to be a crazy, crazy year for all these sports. I still think in the AFC, because you brought up the AFC North and how strong it looks, I still think Kansas City is the team to beat in there. The Steelers and Ravens, they actually play each other this Sunday in Baltimore. So that's going to be, that might be 16-20, that type of game, because those two, when they get together, it's always tough and physical.
It's always a defensive show, man. Always. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I actually have, I do have Pittsburgh winning that game. Wait, where was it played at?
It's going to be in Baltimore.
It is in Baltimore. Okay, so that's the game that I have Baltimore winning, and honestly, I have that 17-10 Baltimore.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's going to be fun. The 49ers play in Seattle this Sunday too, so that's going to be a good one. And speaking of that, I have to give Arizona credit. Arizona they're 5-2. I watched that game when they were playing Seattle on Sunday night. That was Arizona looked like they was going to get blown out, but they kept on fighting, and they pulled it out in overtime.
They stuck to the game plan, which was not normal from an Arizona team in the past. They stuck to the game plan and they played well and they did their thing. So yeah, I know where you're coming from with that.
So I mean that's some growth, because I mean these are games Arizona would have lost in the past.
Yeah.
And now seeing how they battled through, give Kyler Murray all the credit for it. He's looking like a legit quarterback. And actually, I think you have to consider him a little bit for some MVP consideration. Oh, so Jonathan left a comment. The Chiefs will be back in the Super Bowl. Yeah, probably. I don't really see anybody beating the Chiefs in the AFC. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, I think, are their best chances for that to happen. But Kansas City,
they're just too strong, man. Yeah. They're way too strong, and they're loaded with weapons, and their defense is just insane. I agree with you. I don't see anybody beating the Chiefs, and yeah, they'll be back in the Super Bowl. And if you watch my shorty on that, I actually have them playing the 49ers again.
Yes, I still believe the 49ers are the best team in the NFC. Once they get people back, obviously we're not going to get Nick Bosa back. That's a big blow. But once we get most of these bodies back, I still think we can handle everybody else. So I have that as a rematch too. So
yeah,
it'll be beating
now. I think it's going to be the same outcome, but
But
But I mean, what can I say? I mean, dude, they're way too strong.
Yep, that shoot. And Jonathan, he sent the question just like what we were talking about. That's crazy. Yes, I do like the 49ers again. Once, like I said, once we get healthy, and I say we because I'm a 49er fan. He said, "Yep, me too." So yeah, once they get healthy, and as it is, I mean, they're battling through these injuries. They're sitting at 4-3. They play Seattle twice, so the chances will be there. They'll play Seattle twice. They have another game with Arizona, and they handled the Rams already. They'll play the Rams again. So there's going to be chances there for them to boo. Same outcome. He's a Chiefs fan, so I got him.
I agree with you.
You know what? We're wrapping up the show. No, but
oh yeah. Well, Jonathan, you missed all my rants on Georgia. The whole state of Georgia and the way they crapped out. So check it out when you get the chance.
So with that, we'll wrap this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast up. And make sure you guys go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and keep the likes coming on the Facebook page. And of course, if you weren't able to catch the live show, we will post this on the other forums, and you can catch it on there. And I hope y'all don't have a parade this year, Jonathan. But you'll save me a seat. No, you know what?
You won't have to. He won't go.
Yeah, right. There you go.
He'll have his own parade.
So everybody,
those Cowboys.
Ugh. So are you? So we will talk to y'all later on in the week. Hopefully, I have a shorty for you. And are you gonna do a shorty or no?
I will not be doing a shorty this week. I got to wrap up a few things with my business and stuff like that. Oh, Jonathan, I'll tell him. You ain't got to worry about it. He'll hear it for a while. Because if you watch the beginning of this show, he had to bring up Georgia. So yeah, all day, every day. But no, I got a lot of business stuff I got to handle for both mine and my wife's. So I got to take care of that. So I will be back next week.
All right, sounds good. Well then.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan.
My feed is gone. Oh, I'm back. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna wrap this up before my feed just goes. So everybody, take care. Make sure y'all leave those comments. Let us go. Make sure y'all continue to leave these comments, leave that feedback because we're all about it. And yes,
why do I have to be a Georgia fan?
Yeah, it's rough being a Georgia fan. So everybody, take care, and we will talk every day. And we will talk to y'all later. Take it easy.